Thank you so much. I did not expect that email in my inbox this morning. I'm super excited. Well, as super excited as someone as monotone as myself can be. But yeah, thank you. How are you doing today, Iris? Hopefully you're having a good day. Okay, so yeah, welcome to a Wednesday stream, but it's a stream that didn't really expect in terms of I'm like an affiliate now. It's crazy. I actually got the email like about a half an hour ago, and I was kind of scrambling to get everything set up, at least preliminarily, just like ads and stuff like that. I don't actually have any emotes ready, so I kind of have to work on that along with like badges and stuff. So right now we're just gonna have like sort of the default ones. There is an incoming ad break. It's gonna start in about 50 seconds about. Yeah, one step at a time. So yeah, if you don't have like Twitch Turbo, it's gonna be about like 3-ish minutes of ads. It's gonna start in about 30 seconds. So I'll go ahead and let that run, and in the meantime I will continue to set things up in the background. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Oh, I can set up channel points. I should do that. Okay, so that should be done now. Sorry about that. I have basically set up the ads so that there are no pre-rolls and that there's only one ad break basically every like 50 minutes or so. So hopefully that happens at the top of the hour. I have alerts set up so that'll let me know. That way I can just... And it should let y'all know as well. But yeah, you can start earning pineapples. I'll actually have to get currency for that too. But yeah, I'm not really sure what kind of redeems I'm gonna have aside from kind of like the normal stuff. Like, I don't even know if that is already active or if I set it up before. Actually, let me see. I'll just have to quickly... Actually, let me see. Myself. Or mute my stream. Hey, Lonnie, what's up? Oh, god damn it. Okay. It shows that still... Okay, so right now it does have like some stuff that's already set up in advance, but okay. I got the thing. I did in fact get the thing. Okay. Jesus Christ, dude. I appreciate the 5 gifted, man. Holy shit. Much love, brother. Much love. Is my sub alert not set up? I thought sub alerts were set up. Am I insane? Oh my god, I might have to go through and like just redo everything. What is the other one? Not stream elements. Stream. Oh, sound alerts. Maybe that's what it is. Welcome to the pro streamer pain. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. In either case, I appreciate it so much. So, but yeah. Let me see. Subs. Can't believe I already have some subs. That's crazy. Where are the ones that I set up? Is it under other alerts? Oh, I did not set up the sub alert. That's why we didn't see it. I'll set it up later. Okay, so actually it would probably help if I oops, stream elements screen got all weird. Let's readjust that real quick. Before we get into the game, I should probably plug in my controller. Because I did get one. I think it's here. Sorry, I'm doing this without looking. Okay. There we go. That should be good. Half founder badges are gone already? Wait, what? Oh. Okay, gotcha. I was like, what do you mean? Sorry, I have no idea what I'm doing here. All of this is like super new. It's very unexpected. First 10 get founder. Oh man. Dang. I see. I didn't even know that was a thing. Not gonna lie. Didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, Kiba32. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Can you tell I have no idea what I'm doing? I know. What were we playing today? All right, we're playing SaGa Frontier. The remastered SaGa Frontier. Well, I mean, a lot of people pretend to know, right? I am not that guy. I'm not that guy. All right. Well, let's go ahead and turn on the controller, or power on the controller. That sounds weird how that came out. Don't look into that too much. And I'm gonna go ahead and fire this up. Oh, that is the wrong screen there. That's just bravado. True. Hey, there we go. That works. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, it does. Perfect. Yeah, pretty crazy though. Pretty crazy. Did not expect that today. So I'm very happy, and now we can actually have that part where the subscriber names also scroll by. So, so that's cool. We're doing Red's game, I think. We were. I don't remember. So the palace is where the... Oh, this is actually really loud. Hold on. I do not remember it being this loud. Wow, that's even after a 50% reduction. Oops. It sounds a little better. Okay, go to the ruins, I guess? I guess we'll see if we die, right? Well, let me go there. Oh, wow, okay, I guess we have to go to the palace then? Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot the dash is on, like, all the time. Hold on, let me... Here we go. Wait, shouldn't I go off to, like, the side? Oh, wait, no, I should talk to this guy. And then he's probably going to, tell me to go off to the side because I can't compete without a mask. Right? Somehow all of Black X does not recognize me. But, whatever. That's fine, I guess. I also like that there's just like a random skeleton that's gonna become a part of this. So. Mr. Riri, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I thought they would let us recruit characters in this chapter, but maybe not. Don't sleep. Okay. Please die? You did not. Okay, don't. Okay, thank you. Making fun of their social anxiety and stutter. Yeah, it's the Wild West of gaming back then. Can't really do that anymore. What the hell is this? Oh, that sucks. At least these are all free. Bro. What am I at now? 281. Oh my god, I missed? Bro. Don't you dare. Thank you. Oh, come on, man. Stop missing. How are you even missing? Like, what lowered was my strength and constitution, not my accuracy. I mean, the game already has a sequel, so you probably have to make like a third one and hope for the best, maybe. Can this not miss? Okay, good. Jesus. Miss. I don't even know what that does. I assume it's supposed to charm me, but since I have no other party members, it doesn't do anything. I should probably make that a sound alert. The Mario Party, like, meese. Just so I can feel like shit when it happens, you know? God, I probably want to go all out for this guy. This guy is, like, comically huge. Also, he's wearing sunglasses. Ooh. That's like the Guile special right there, Jesus Christ. Wow. I mean, I'm doing this because it's funny, but like, I mean, I don't know how tall Red is. I'm pretty sure he's small, but I don't think he's like that small. Like, this guy is almost as tall as the arena ceiling, which is like 8 of me stacked on top, you know? That's a little much. Okay, one of these spaces has a healing element. Can't get onto that side, I think? I'm pretty sure. Do I still... Okay, everything got reset. Good. I mean, yeah, that's what happened. Like, for real, for real. Oh. Huh. Okay. No, that's where all the people were up there, right? So there's nothing to get. There's nothing to get. Okay. Well, I guess we're going this way then. I could have sworn there was like a place where you could heal, but maybe I'm just misremembering things. Oh, god damn it. I'm trying to like save so that I can get into more combats with Red and not like Alkaiser, but what is this? Why is there an arrow here? Am I supposed to be able to go up? Or is it like when I come back they'll just drop in? Yeah. Okay. Sure. Oh no, I'm stuck as Alkaiser. Lame. I'm not carrying... Oh no, I am carrying a gun. Pendragon's a gun, right? Pretty sure? Okay. Yeah, because I know you can stack gun skills even if you're out of space in your like active skills. So I just don't know if I can get them from these guys. Maybe. Cool. Actually, I should check. God damn it. Fine. Oh, thankfully they reload after battle too. That's good. Man, learn some skills, bro. The fuck? Okay, finally I can breathe. Okay, so yeah, I am full up here. I'll seal you, I guess. be sensible. Okay, am I gonna get attacked in here? What? What are you talking about? What the hell is a sanctuary stone? God damn it. Oh, that's cool. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I knew there was a place where we could heal. I just thought it was further down. Okay, we'll save again. So we just die all the time. What did that guy say? Who invited that guy? Oh, fuck you. Wait, so they're not there. I think, how do I find that one place? Hold on. It's not here. It's not through there. There is a space. Maybe I passed it. There's supposed to be, like, I can't. I was trying to see if I could touch that, like, treasure icon, but I have to find a way to get across where I can do that, so... Yeah, pretty rude. I agree. There has to be a switch that I am missing. It's not this. Swear to God, if it's in this room where I get dropped on. You know what? Damn it. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. We're gonna use the D-pad. Alright. Just casually shining kick a fairy in the face. This guy. I don't even know why I bothered running. Okay. Alright. Okay. I was hoping this tile here was something. This? Okay. There we go. I was like, why is there an arrow right there? There is. It's literally right. It's literally right there. Haha. Okay. Oh boy. Oh shit, it's one of those. I don't like those. Okay, actually way weaker than the kick. What the hell? I mean, I know your legs are supposed to be stronger, but still. Oh no. Here we go. I have like no one on my team. Alright, well let's take out the goons first. 8. Okay. This guy has a shield, which means he can block attacks or parry them. Okay, well right now he's just continuing to do basic attacks, so fine. Maybe when if he shifts to the 4th dimension, we'll up the ante a little bit. This fight's been weird. Okay. Really? That was very anticlimactic. Okay. Right. It's probably fine. Okay. So remember to get my pay, even though it's not a lot. Which I actually didn't do for a bunch of chapters, so I actually missed out on money. I like how casual that was, you know, it's just like, I'm leaving. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we'll meet again later. Makes complete sense. Nay. Hey, that's funny, we played the worst game yesterday. Wow, you're in the way. Okay, I did not mean to talk to you twice. Our billionaire ran away the other night. Our billionaire. It's pretty possessive. Okay. That's actually an extremely sensible way to like deal with somebody that intruded in your house. Probably gonna end up fighting him later. this looks like a you should save area. Yep. No. We're gonna see how long it takes me to die. Turns out pretty quick. Especially when you miss. Dead? Yep. Nice. Good start. Maybe don't miss next time. Okay, we're not gonna go there again. Right. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Purcell. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was very unexpected. I thought I had a bit more to go and figured the status would reset. Oh, this guy's not even going to talk to me. What an asshole. So I would have to start all over again this month. But yeah, turns out not so much. Not so much. Okay. Dad finally quit smoking because it's dangerous to smoke around liquor. So before he was smoking around liquor? Okay. Apparently, we're so backwater that everyone here drinks. Oh my god. Thank you for the sub. I still don't have sub alerts set up. Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate that a lot. You have no idea. Yeah, sorry alerts aren't set up, y'all. It's, I just, like I said, I wasn't expecting anything. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Is this the port? Oh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I honestly don't know what to say. But we're actually halfway to our sub goal, which I didn't set. That was all defaulted by Twitch. Well, more than halfway now, because we're at 6 out of 10, which is pretty crazy. Oh God! I did not mean to do that. Alright, sure. Because I just fucked that up, let's go ahead and do that. Just in case we end up getting into some kind of shenanigans, which we probably will. Am I gonna get kicked out again? Oh, nope. I also, yeah, like I have a lot to set up once the stream's done. I have to set up alerts. I have to start seeing people about commissioning emotes, sub badges. Definitely amounts to channel points, yeah. I feel like I'm going to... Really? I feel like these guys are gonna kill me though, so I'm gonna do this. I still don't have badges. Yeah, I don't know. Just lower on my priority list. Yeah, it's just like I prepared so much in advance for like not necessarily like debuting as a VTuber, but like just kind of getting like VTubing stuff like off the ground. That I didn't really think ahead to like affiliate and whatnot. I thought affiliate would just be something that's like further like into the future. So I'm like actually surprised that that we're kind of here already, you know? And then enemy fire. Oh good, it's way back. Now everyone's gonna attack me again. Yeah, they are. They really are. Which, I mean, you can definitely find, like, affordable stuff for sure. Okay, I'm gonna punch this guy and hope he blows up. Okay, good. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how things go. I need to budget a lot myself, because I'm, financially not in the greatest position, so, you know, we're just, trying to make do what we can. It might be a while. But it'll be something to work on from month to month. You know, hopefully I can scrounge a little here and there, and you know, eventually get all that stuff going. Are the channel points? I can't see it on my end, so that's why I'm asking. Are the channel points still showing up as just channel points? Because I have it set to something else, but maybe it doesn't update unless I like restart the stream or something. I guess I could always check after combat, but figured I'd just ask. Does the well, I haven't updated the graphic, but it does it come up as like when you hover over it, does it still say channel points, or does it say something else? It says channel points. Okay, got it. So maybe it won't update until I restart the stream or something like that. Kind of unfortunate, but. This person doesn't want to leave because they don't want to lose their pay. That's admirable. Yeah, because they're supposed to be pineapples, but alas. No, I mean, it's just me. It's me putting expectations on myself, really. That's all. Can I... Wait... Can I go down from here? Oh, I climb up. Okay. I was like, is this a ladder? I don't know. Oh, shit. Okay, it looks like another ad break is gonna come up in about 5 minutes, so... What's an easy way to burn yourself out? I almost did that my first couple months. That's just Twitch, sometimes it's very functional. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to be myself here. Oh, double attack. I'm gonna die? Oof, that is a lot. Die, please? Okay, good. That's a lot of damage. Oh no. Damn it. Bro, I really get screwed over by not having companions. So much of this, I forgot, Red does solo. Okay, right, there's combat here again. Yeah. I'm gonna remember to save after this combat. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like one of those guys that, like, once something happens, like once an avenue opens up, I'm kind of like, okay, I need to like get on this so that I don't forget. Because contrary to the way that I carry myself that way, I'm actually like super lazy. So like, if I don't do it while it's like a thought in my brain, I'm just like, it'll get done, you know, and then it just never gets done. So, okay, let's do that. I mean, technically I don't have to fight, so... Are these guys? Oh, they are enemies, okay. Fuck. I think this is the lowest tier of Black X Fighter or whatever. I'm kind of the same, so I get it. Word. Okay, I might need to transform. Unless he dies. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, they can't attack me while that's happening, right? I was gonna say. Let's seal that. Oh, man. This is a fucking maze. What the fuck? What is that? I'm not gonna take chances. It's a good thing I did not. Uh-oh, that's blind. Nope. Or I thought it was. Okay, That's his weaker attack. Okay. Good. Oh, we got a power cure back. Great. More enemies. Because of course there are. Oh, God damn it, it's this guy again. Do I have... I don't. Damn. Ouch. Oh, thank you. Hopefully everything at the DMV goes alright. Whew, okay. Dead guy. Another power cure. Awesome. Money. Hope this item's worth it. Fuck. Thanks for the subscribe. I appreciate it. Damn. That's a lot of subs today. I am beyond words. I am beyond words. Okay. Let's see if this kills him in one hit as red. It does. It's too bad it costs 4 weapon points or whatever. Each use. Water cannon's pretty good, I think. Oh. Oh, God. Can I flee? Okay. I really don't want to fight those things. God damn it. Oh, this can's done. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if they already attack, but still. Whew. Oh, when was the ad break supposed to start? Shit, have I been going while the ads have been on? That's not good. Are there ads running right now? If they are, I am so sorry about that. How much? Wow, this cost 1? Really? No way. Alright. Actually, let me sub out some skills if that's the case. Yeah, well, I saw that there was like an alert a little while ago, and I don't know if it went or not. I don't see the alert now, so I'm gonna assume it did not, but or it did. I don't know, maybe. I am going to save. turbo really is good. Anything up there? No. Yeah, turbo's like really great because got through that. Nope. Because we like creators still get paid for the ads, even though you don't see them, which is cool. Damn it. Fuck. Yeah, turbo's great. Oh good, still one. I'm so glad that misses all the time. Yeah, it's especially good if you watch like a lot of people. True, right. You don't get emotes because technically you don't sub. It is a downside, but I think the overall upside is actually really good, so. Okay, let's do this. So it feels like he's gonna have some trouble. Yeah. Yep. You know, if anything, I probably made this harder for myself because I'm probably like supposed to recruit people before I get here. And I'm doing this like by myself. Okay, good. Turbo needs some exclusive emotes. I mean, you would think so, right? Because like Turbo is what, like $11.99 a month? You think you would get like some perk outside of what it gives you, you know? Maybe that's just me, I don't know. Hey, 911. Stun? Oh. That's a lot of damage for that. Right. Oh god. Bro, how are you even supposed to get through this? I guess like that. Oh, you can't even see when that one goes. Damn it. Can we flee? Okay, good. Save again. Oh shit, we're gonna take a lot of enemy fire. I think. Oh my god, a level 3? For real? Holy shit. What the fuck? Right. Okay. That's good. That's good. Whoa. Okay. Alright, that should kill that. Okay, good. Whew. Man, that level 3 attack was attack is not cool. Hopefully I go first. Okay, good. I don't know what his attacks are like solo, so I'm gonna do this for safety. Okay, actually not terrible. Whew. Eagle gun. Can I? Oh, I can't. Man, I was hoping that I could use like a buckler. Oh, I can, but I would have to take up another space. It's better than the Pendragon that I have, so okay. Fair enough. Physical attacks as in... God damn it. Okay. All types of physical attacks? Okay, yeah, it does. It says that. Okay, I'll put that on. Then... Seal you. Save. I like how my character sheet is just like a mess. Is there? No, there's not. Okay. Fuck. Can these kill me? I guess we will find out. Holy shit. Yes. Yes, they can. Die? No. Alright, fine. I don't have this, but... I don't know, that restoes my HP. It does. Wow. Nope. Oof. Man, we're just learning all the sword techniques today. Sunder's a 2. You can probably weave between those, but I'm just an idiot. Artfully? I don't even know what that means. I mean, I guess technically we're doing alright, but... Nope, nope. No. Stun? No stun. Damn. Okay. That didn't work. Ooh, good block. Nice. Oh boy. Swallow slice. Yeah, I'll seal you. Why not? Piece of shit. I'm so glad I saved there. Oh my god. Bro. Oh gosh. It's this thing again. Don't. God damn it. Pain powder? Yep. Wow, I'm still alive? Alright. Yeah, eat that, you piece of shit. There we go. What an asshole. Oh my god. Is it really just these? Ugh. Like, why? I mean, I know why I would do it, but like, it's fucked up. Especially if it's not random. I'm trying to get some gun skills, but it's just like not happening. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay. Bro, what is this? Okay. Okay. Damn it. Right. Come on, man. Where's all that shield? What are you doing? Shield. I know it's only like 9 to like 15 damage, but like, seriously. Okay, there we go. Nope. Man, holding up that shield, real tough work. There we go. See? See? That's all you have to do. That's literally it. That's all you gotta do. Ooh. That's nice. Max Cure. Ooh. Oh my god, bro. What is this tower? Oh, fuck. I didn't even get to save. Oh my god. Are we going into that fourth dimension again? Yeah. Please block stuff. Ouch. Okay, good. Hopefully this kills. It does not. Shit. Oh my god. Okay, please kill this time? Okay. Oh my god, dude. Fucking block. I mean, thankfully I'm like faster than these guys, but still. Really? I can't target the guys in the back? Wait, what? Why did that kill him that time? Why did the dude in front take 2 hits? Okay. See? They're the same enemy. Why does that guy have more HP? This makes no sense whatsoever. Do not get it. Man, I really hope there's a recovery point up here, because that doesn't look like fun. Because if there's a boss at the end of all of this, I'm kind of screwed. Damn it. What the fuck is that? Okay, how much do I do? I mean, thankfully we're blocking it, right? But still. 183. Ugh. Okay, this guy's not screwing around. Fine. Bro, can you block? It's a good thing we got a bunch of these on the way up. Thank you. Oh. Ooh. Stun. Hell yeah. Okay. Stun. Stun is good. Stun is very good. Yeah, we'll seal you. Ugh. Oh no. Ugh. Too wide. Flee. Thank you. Fuck that shit. Nope. Oh god. No, I didn't. I hurt a lot, actually. Why not? Okay, we have a boss fight. If I can get into the door. What the fuck is this? Well, that's not a good start. Yeah, let's... Oh shit, they're faster than me? Uh-oh. Oh shit, and then they don't die in one hit. That's not good. Oh my god. Oh, that's not good. Dead? Yep. Fuck. I don't even know how I'm supposed to get past that. Oh, actually, they gave me... Hold on. A person gave me a thing. Maybe it's, like, super effective against those guys. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just screwed. Because I only have red here. Oh, Jesus. That all my life? Pretty much. Great. That doesn't help me at all. Okay. Keep blocking. Ugh. That's kind of lame. That did nothing. Oh no. Now I'm not blocking anything. What was that? Yeah, this might be a unwinnable situation. If so, that's like unfortunate. It seems like it though. Because I need to be able to take out. Oh, Jesus Christ. I need to be able to take out at least like one of these guys, but like I can't. I need like a party of people. No block. No block. Dead. Close. Oh, what's the point? Dead. Yep. Yeah, this is unwinnable now. Shit. Damn. I really put myself in a corner there. It's pretty lame. God, I don't even know. Do I start over? That's a lot that I have to go through all over again just to like make this work. But I mean, I guess I could, or maybe I could just start a new one. Start a new one. Let's go with her. Yep. Sure. Oh. We'll just go with that. Right. Right. That's super convenient. Okay, so do we have any equipment? Okay, obviously we do not, so fine. Oh god. Pretty sure everything here is like way too strong, right? Oh wow, they have equipment. Okay, that's unexpected. Oof, 4. So weak. Hey. Damn, that Liza girl hits pretty hard. Actually, that really wasn't terrible. Oh, god damn it! I didn't mean to reset that. Can we go down? I'm trying to go down, but it's not letting me. Okay, that leads back up. Can't go back up there. Can't go back up that way. Okay, so yeah, this is a dead end. Nope, not that. One. Jesus. Okay, why won't it let me drop down? I'm trying to drop in. Like, this is obviously open, but it just won't let me drop down. Hello? Hello? That's so weird. Yeah, it has to be that room. Yeah, because this will just lead us back to the bottom here, right? Oh, god damn it. Come on, stop doing that. There we go. I just don't understand why it won't let us drop down. there we go. Like pressing all over the place, and it's just like not letting me interact. Okay. Nothing else? Okay. Well, then we will equip that on you. Whoops. That on you as well. I remember them saying we can't attack the guards. Let's save before we test to see how strong these things are. I didn't even get to do anything. Yeah, that's what happens when everyone's stronger than you are. Okay, let's go out for a second. Okay, what about these things? Ooh, it's a lot of stuff. Wow. Ooh, okay. Ooh, that looks scary. Ooh, good stun. Okay. Parakeet. Okay, let's see if the rocket ammo replaces itself. This actually looks pretty scary. Does. Okay, good. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Power cure, very good. So that one doesn't actually, when we came out of there. elevator. Shell shields. Oops. Yeah, right now she is the weakest, so probably a good idea to do that. Try to run into an enemy and it doesn't really work. Kick! That's it. Yep. Well, at least everyone is getting their stats up. Oh, what the hell? Alright. It's not bad. Nope, nope. Ah. Oh. We're back here? What the hell? Okay, and that's where we went last time. It's above the commissary. Does this go? So we can't even open that, which is strange. Whatever, we'll just fight this thing. That's a lot. Zero? What the fuck? Man, Emilia needs to start learning stuff. Like, this is getting really dumb. Can't go up. Oh, that was the arrow, right? Ooh. Oh. Looks like ads are going now, and they'll be done in about 2.5 minutes. Come on, learn the skill, please? Good lord. Don't let these ladies carry you on their backs. Alright. Oh, this is where we were before? I guess it's down here. The path we didn't take last time. Please. For crying out loud, learn a skill. I like that your stats are going up, but like, for freaking real, man. This is where we came from. Alright. Didn't go through here before. That stuff. Let's avoid those lights. Okay, I'm gonna do this knowing that it's going to take me probably back to that one room, right? Yep. Why would it not? Good miss. Okay, like seriously, this is actually making me upset. Learn something. Like, I know it's like 1 in like 200 something chance, but like, this is actually kind of ridiculous. Learned no skills the entire time we've been doing this. Ugh. Oh, damn it. I always expect that after, like, I'll have breathing room, but it's not true. assume we're not supposed to touch the lasers, so I'm gonna go super slow. That was the tough customer. Didn't die from one hit. Nice block. Just want to learn some skills. Why, oh why? Right. Alright, well, we're not gonna screw around with this one. Well, I'm still gonna try to learn skills, but let's do that. Does this? Okay, that can stun. Ooh, double level 2 combo. That's good. That's a nice amount of damage. Kick! Finally! Nice block. Guy's pretty tough. Ooh, triple. Nice. Oh, come on. Even after that? Still not dead? Okay. What the fuck? What the hell was that? Oh, well, we actually got it, so, I mean, that's crazy. Cool? Yeah, why are you going back there? Of course, Joker. Right. Well, obviously, because it's gonna turn us into a warrior here. Gradius, like the video game. Right. We work outside the law. We're vigilantes. So normally she heals, but it's like that's not something we do right now. Wouldn't let us go through the middle door. Yeah, let's work for the organization. Oh, that's why. Nice miss there. Yep. 5 out of 6. Got it. Oh, God damn it. Nice emote there, buddy. Welcome back. Yeah, well, eventually when I get some commissions, it might be a bit, but we'll see. Like everything that I essentially make, as far as like payout for the channel, is going to go directly back into it, you know. So, yeah, we'll eventually get there. I guess I have to start looking for artists again. Yeah. Sure, fine. Let's just keep fighting. Why not? Nice work there, Automod. No. I'm not even sure why that was targeted. Very weird. I actually do pretty alright damage for this point in the game. Yeah, very true. Still, though, pretty funny. Oh, whoops. Yeah, lots to do post-stream today. So, I feel like I'm going to be really busy over this next week. He wasn't my first sub, but he was the first person to give 5 subs. Actually, I could just scroll back up and see who my first sub actually was. It was Mr. _ Big Chubby. The first sub on my own, though, I believe. Let me see. I believe it was Pastel Prince VT. Yeah. Yeah, first gifted subs were from the llama. Yeah, I didn't know that, like, apparently, according to a friend of the channel, they said that the first 10 subs are, they get like a founder. They get counted as like founders or something like that. I didn't know that. I had no idea that's how it worked. Did I get the thing up here? Yeah, I did get the thing up here. So technically there are three founder spaces left, I think. Because I have seven subs. So yeah, you're a founder on my channel too. Oh, this is that weird clinic. I wonder if it'll let me go into the door and then I'll back out. Creepy. Ooh, you're a founder on Noble's channel as well? That's cool. Yeah, we're not doing that. Fuck that noise. Nice. Yeah, he had his stuff ready. Like, he already has like emotes and shit. That stuff was on deck for him. Whoops. Stun. Good block. Yeah, I know, right? You gotta get the first ones that are minted, man. You can literally be there when the magic was written. The old magics. Cancel this month? Gotcha. is the end. Yes. Was it over here? It was through here, I'm pretty sure. Right. Nope. Probably have to talk to Rufus, I guess. There we go. So that's what she looks like. Okay. I think I need to get... Oh, sure. Some of the old art styles may not have been the best at, but they were interesting. I don't know, I like seeing like official art for games that's not like the game art itself, but like what characters are really supposed to look like and whatnot. I think that's really cool that they allow for that, because you can really find some interesting stuff. Okay, I wonder if I need to get a gun or a sword. Nope, that's gear. That is also gear. I need weapons. That's the new one after Drifter, right? Is it any good? Is it out yet? Oh yeah, I guess it is. I can't though, even though I like parts of it. No. Really? Are there any weapon vendors here? Blonde at the restaurant. 5 months ago, semi-bombed. Ooh. I mean, I never finished Hyper Light Drifter, so I don't know, but recent updates fix, but they don't go far enough. Was Drifter made by like the same team, like Heart Machine or Breaker, or was it made by like a different devs? Kinda, but no. Oh, the mall. Okay. Heart Machine is part of it. Gearbox. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say, I remember that like another publisher had like had taken over. So starting New Final Drifter game is hard. I'm bad at it. It is a difficult game. Oh, okay. Here we go. ammo, though. Okay, is there a weapon vendor here too? Is it this guy? It is this guy. I don't have enough credits for it, though. Oops. Oops. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, you mentioned the mall, so I guess we should go to Manhattan. May buy something from the Steam sale, not sure what though. I have a lot of stuff on my wish list, but I don't think I can afford much of anything this year. I don't know. Probably not gonna end up buying anything, to be honest. I've got like enough on my plate as is. So they'll just add it to the pile of stuff that I may or may not play. That's all. A pretty girl? This is the cafe. I'm actually surprised this guy doesn't recognize us. He's the one that threw us in jail. Weird. That is expensive. This was the only mall I knew of. I figured there would have been some part of the story. Hold on, I should be able to check. I already did that though. Huh. Well, we are basically free. Went to the mall. Don't think we'll be able to do anything at the gates or the CTC building. I guess we'll try and go to the CTC building and see what happens. No, nothing. Alright. I like that there is a planet named this in this game. It's pretty funny. Let's go Shrike, I guess. It's the correct spelling and everything too. If you know, you know. Okay, so research lab is actually super scary. I will go there for fun, but good stuff. This is a good place to level your stats, though. What is the flower amulet? Psychic and charisma. There's actually like a ridiculously difficult boss in this particular area. Oh wow. Yeah. Oof. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but that's kind of what this area is like. It's just like a bunch of like scary shit. I knew that going in though, so. Sleep. Yep. The llama schemes. Okay, like stop putting me to sleep. Don't put them to sleep? Damn it. Bruh. Can you wake up? Or die? What do you mean? I don't know if I can. Don't think I can, to be honest. Well, I have no idea what any of that means within context, so. You'll be fine, you'll be alright. Oh, I can do that. There we go. Let me do... There we go. How about that? Does that work? You got it, you got it. Fish. Ow. It never happened, right? If only I had the thing set up for the neuralizer. Yeah, this is like a super like end game area that you just have access to like immediately when you travel. So it's actually really interesting. But yeah, I mean that's like what this place is. Just kind of ridiculous. Am I gonna fight this guy on the way out? Nope. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, can I get a mech buddy here? Ooh, no, I can't recruit him unless I have another mech, I think. Guess not. I don't even know if I get any mechs. In this playthrough, there's the port. Is there an inn here? Artificial meat. Okay, that's the bookstore. This looks like an inn. Perfect. Okay, so let's see if it'll let us go to the ruins. It should be slightly less shitty if we go there. I think we can recruit Say as well. And I'm pretty sure Say is a transforming guy, so 492 channel points. Yeah, I'm actually being relatively generous with the channel points. I still don't know what kind of redeems I want. I'm trying to figure that out. Oh wait, I can go here, and then here, and then here. Got it. Got a hodl. I'll take suggestions. God damn it. Oh yeah? Yay, Kiba. Hello, hello. Is Hydrate one of the default ones? I don't think it's set up right now, if it is or isn't. I'll probably have to set that up when stream's done. There should be a menu for points already. For point redeems. It's whatever Twitch sets up as default. Thank you, appreciate it. Oh, right, I have to gather the thingies. But yeah, thank you so much, Kiba. I got there quicker than I thought I would. So I'm actually really happy about that. It was like super unplanned. Like I had gotten the email like pretty much right before stream started, so everything is all chaotic and not set up. Uh-oh, that's a lot of stuff. right? Yeah. Oof, good block. Okay. If it helps, I started streaming here after Twitch launched, and the back end used to be more nightmare-inducing. Oh, I bet. I'm sure it's like relatively streamlined now, but I imagine it was probably like a nightmare. Like, remember when Twitch was just in TV? OBS by itself was nightmare-inducing to set it up. Yeah. No, I remember that. Like, I actually used to have a FleshTuber account, and so, like, I streamed. God, how long ago was it? Probably like 5 or so years ago. Might actually die. Not getting in any of the double attacks. Alright. Have to stop futzing about. Yeah, lore drop. Oops. Sorry that the cursor's in the way. Oh, really? Come on. How many life points does she have left? It's been hitting her a lot. Okay, she's still got a decent amount. Jesus. Okay. Whew. I've now finished Emilia's story and as this on my remastered playthrough. Nice. Oh. Incoming ad break in about 5 minutes. Everyone here shouldn't have to really worry about that, as their story was done in one session. Yeah. Dark Road. Resistance to blind, that's cool. Is her story relatively short? Wanted to unlock Mariachi form for Red Turnip, since I wanted the achievement and it's easy form to unlock. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oops. Short or long. Depends on if you know what to do. That makes sense. Doesn't have a lot of set location story moments. Gotcha. The standard story moments will randomly trigger in certain areas after a fight. Oh, okay. Took me a bit to find the last one. Yeah, I've gotten to various stages with almost every character except Lute. I think Lute's the only character that I haven't tried at all. Uh-oh, someone's blind. yeah, I remember you mentioning that last time. Right. Total, I spent about 25 hours in Emilia to set up the rest of my runs. Yeah, interesting. Right, because of like New Game Plus and stuff. Oh. Oh, right. Emilia, Phaon, and Anne all have DSC. Nice. Oof. Oh, shit. Okay. I kept saying his native form since it's unique, and if you override his unique attack, Kusanagi, you can't get it back. Oh, okay. Pretty sure I'm just dead. No, the flee option was grayed out for me. Yeah, I thought about it, but it's a good thing I have this autosave here. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure. I kind of want save, but I don't know. I'm still like kind of thinking about it in my head. Right. Oop. No double attack. Oh, he should be dead. It's fine. There we go. I think so. I don't know what the formula is exactly. I know, like, once you learn a combo, it's probably, like, easier to do, but I don't know how often they trigger. Yeah. Everything's like a chance. I didn't Whoops, thought I actually went up the stairs. Nope. That's where I came from, that's where I went. That leads back down to that room, makes sense. Oh, god damn it, I did not mean to do that. Okay, I'm gonna walk there next time. Really? Oh, whoops. Okay, I think we have to go there and here. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Got it, got it, got it. Oof. Dead? Yep. No, you're good, man. Yeah, I played in the past. Like, I know a lot of, like, the basics and sort of, like, a surface level of how things work, but, like, I'm not sure with some of the more, like, nuanced stuff. Sure, yeah, go for it. Right. Yeah, we were in the research lab before, but we left, so I did kind of forget that's where Con was. So I'll probably head back there and get them. Be a nice addition to have on the team. Ooh, that's a lot of people. It's not gonna let me attack that thing? Okay, fine. Oof. That's why I wanted to kill that guy. Oops, way back. Nice. More or less. It unfortunately does take up a space, even though it's like a passive ability. It's not like equipping a shield. Well, actually it's exactly like equipping a shield. It takes up an inventory slot. Yeah, exactly. Houdini. Oops. Yeah. Dragon Shield is goated. Oops. Yep, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Okay, I think Cotton is on the second floor? Not this one. Right. Yeah, I'm remembering. Kind of. There we go. There he is. Or there they are. Whoops. have to be really wary of not what's this called? Not absorbing skills as cotton. Okay. Made it. Right. All right. Let's go back that way. The only reason I don't slowly to it delay is because I don't think I hardly get it on every playthrough due to doing the room scotch. Requires 2 monsters. Okay. Yeah, like your monsters absorb skills and like transform in battle, like actual monster types. Yeah. Thank you, Automod. I don't know why you grayed those out as well. But we definitely changed that. This is the move I love. Just visually, it's ridiculous. Good damage. Cool. Ooh, what's that? Sure, why not? Sorry, I keep forgetting that the cursor's there and like... Ooh, magical heal? Actually sounds not bad. Came from there? Oh, right. I always forget. Deflected. Okay. Oof. Good dodge. Alright, that's definitely worth a save. Must be a, what's it called? A passive. Oops. Yeah. Oh, really? Damn. No, we can beat the skeleton dudes, it's just that we kind of have to get sort of semi-lucky. Okay, let's try this again. Gotcha. It's a one-shot. Can deflect that. Oops. Wrong heal. Shockwave. Great. Alright. So, you need to not sit in front of that monitor. Thank you. Oops. Wasn't paying attention. I think Liza's hearts are full. Yeah, they are. Punches. There you go. The edge of the desk is fine. Just not by just not by the monitors, that's all. There we go. Yeah. Crazy overkill. Yeah, deflect. There we go. Nah. Cool. Let me check on your arts too. Okay, not bad. Okay, so now that I've got all 3 items, before we do that, let's go back and heal. Even though we're probably fine, but still. There we go. He did explode. Are you talking to me about that? If so, I'll have to check later. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Okay, that should have been an autosave there, so... here we go. Ooh. Yeah, this looks like a super difficult fight. It's a good thing that autosave's there. Oh yeah. Okay. Oof. Okay. Okay. Ouch. Oof. Ah, come on. Oh. Ad break coming up in 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, this might be too much right now. Oops. Yeah, pretty much. I was just trying to see what the fight would be like. It's kind of good to know where I stand. Yeah. Right. I guess I'll just have to come back later. And that's okay. Oops. Sorry, my Steam window is like freaking out. There's like a couple of things that are popping up. Alright. Anyway. Let's move that off. Oh, right. I forgot that this one was here too. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, he has sword attacks. Okay. Cool. Yep. All right. Doesn't work on slimes. Sag. There we go. And then there's one more, right? Pretty sure. Yep. Yeah. Oh. Mimic. I wonder if the big chest is gonna do that too. Yep. What the fuck? That's bad. Can't flee. Got it. Oh my god. Oh, I know. I know. Oh, miss. Yeah, well, I am not going to save that one. No, I don't want to pause. Oop. Well, I didn't necessarily mean to do that. Let me get that pulled back up. I still don't know why that does that, by the way. That's kind of weird. When LP goes to 0, they're like, I think the character's like dead. Yeah. Can't heal them until you rest, right? Yeah, we're going to avoid that completely. Hold on. That should change it. There we go. It's weird that it didn't change back. But yeah, we are back outside of the tomb. There we go. I still don't know what causes that. That's so strange. I don't know. It is slightly early, but I am going to call it here just because I do have, well, I have a lot to set up. Not just for the stream tomorrow, but for future streams and stuff. So, yeah, that is going to be it. Go ahead and switch back. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and leave that on in the background and whatnot. Have that play us out. Big stretch. It's kind of like a Nuzlocke, like Pokemon run, which is like crazy, but that doesn't surprise me that people do that. But yeah, yeah, no, of course, you're welcome. Thank you for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, today was a lot of fun. Like I said, surprisingly, reached affiliate today, which is cool. And yeah, thanks for all the subs and follows and whatnot. And we'll be back tomorrow, same usual time, around 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. And a new patch for the Bazaar came out today. I believe it is live now, or should be live soon. The servers originally went down. Oh, thanks for the bits. Thank you. have to get that alert set up too. But I do have graphics for the bits, and I do have graphics for the sub. So those will definitely be getting implemented once the stream is done. But yeah, tomorrow, more of the Bazaar. New patch comes out. It's either out now or it'll be out in 20 minutes. I remember the original announcement said that the servers would go down for about 4 hours. Lots to do. But yeah, we'll be returning to the Bazaar tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be a good one. Hopefully the new items won't be completely busted, but they probably will be. And then the community will get really mad because they won't have access to the items, and then they'll get hot fixed in like 24 hours, and they'll be like, oh, woe's me, I didn't get to play with broken shit and whatever. So atypical way that the season tends to kind of go and play out, but hey, it is what it is. Again, thank you so much, appreciate it. Thank you for the bits at the end, Lonnie, and the gifted subs, everyone that subbed today. You guys are awesome. I kind of wish I had like a screen like Maximilian dude, although I'm not on par with him. But maybe eventually I want to implement something like that where stream follows, subs, stuff like that end up being like part of like the credits sort of at the end, as like kind of a thank you. That's something to look into for the future as well. But yeah, that's it for me today. I'm going to be signing off now. Please have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, stay warm. Remember to hydrate. Remember to eat. And hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. But yeah, again, thank you so much. Have a good day. See you later.